Hi, this is Don McAllister, and welcome to another edition of Screencasts Online for Mac. Well, this week I'm going to try and cover what really is quite a huge topic, and that's the online service App.net. In this episode, I'm going to try and explain the basics of App.net, what it is, and take a look at some of the rapidly expanding number of applications that are using App.net as a foundation for many different services. If you want to check out some of the iOS applications being developed using App.net as a foundation, check out this week's corresponding iOS show. Before we dive into the tech, I think it might be useful just to have a quick explanation and some background information on exactly what App.net is. Now, the majority of people who've heard of App.net mistakenly consider it just a social network, similar to Twitter. And whilst that's not completely inaccurate, App.net is actually more than just a social network. App.net is an ad-free, subscription-based platform that allows developers to build many different types of client or web applications using the services provided by the App.net platform. Now, these services can include public and private messaging, discussion boards, photo and video sharing, file storage, and much, much more, and it's constantly being added to. Now, to use App.net, you do need an App.net account, and there are free accounts and paid-for accounts, each with differing benefits. App.net is a relatively recent service, and it was formed very much in response to changes to Twitter's philosophy on dealing with advertisers, etc. So App.net has a different set of core values than some other similar social network platforms that do rely on adverts or advertiser support. And I think it's worth probably just going quickly over some of these. I've come across to the About page. There's a nice write-up of some of their core values. The primary one being they're selling the product and not the users. So your personal data, your content, your feed, your interests, and everything else won't be sold to advertisers. So you keep hold of your data. Another one is that you own your own content. Even with the file sharing, when you actually upload a file to App.net, you can always download it separately. You can get a separate view of all the data that you've put into App.net so that you can always get it out again. So they're not going to sort of keep hold of your data and not allow you to retrieve it. Now, number 3 is all about financial incentives, and they deliberately didn't go out to make a free service, although you can now get a free account to try it out. They do want to monetize the service from the get-go so that there's no conflict of interest later on when they decide that they do need to monetize it. They're monetizing it from the very beginning. They don't spend time with advertisers. Everything's to do with the user and the service, not with advertisements. And also, they are trying to operate a sustainable, predictable business. Again, not tying you into a free service and then trying to monetize it later on down the line. Respect and value developer community. The developer community is huge within App.net. There's so many developments going on and now starting to come to fruition. It really is a rich environment for developers to get into. And finally, our most valuable asset is your trust. Sort of reinforcing the statement that they do put their user first and they're not sort of guided by other external forces. But anyway, enough of the philosophy around App.net. Let's take a look at the service itself. Now, I'm going to use a demo account. I'm going to use one of the free accounts. If you go across to the standard joining page over at join.app.net, you'll see there are the paid options. So there's the monthly member at $5 per month. Now, every paying member gets 10 gigabytes of file storage for you to do with as you wish. Some applications will use that file storage automatically, or you can use the file storage completely independently of any applications that use App.net, but more about that later. There's a yearly membership, which is $36 per year, and a developer membership for $100 per year. And with the developer membership, you get access to the API and all the documentation, developer community, etc. But what I'm going to do is, and again, you'll be able to do this at the end of the show if you decide you want to try a free account. I've actually logged in using one of the free accounts. You can only get a free account if you're invited with a free account. If I just go to the upgrade, you'll see the difference. So a free account, you get 500 megabytes of file storage. You can follow up to 40 accounts. So if you're using it as a message system, you can follow up to 40 different accounts, and that's about it, basically. So 10 gigabytes of file storage and no limit on the number of accounts you can follow if you sign as a normal member, but 500 megabytes and follow up to 40 accounts as a free member. But you need the invite code, which I'll give you at the end of this particular screencast. So let me close down this page and let me log out completely, and we'll start from scratch. Now, this is the login page to a service called Alpha, which is built on top of app.net. And Alpha was a website that was originally created really to demonstrate just what could be done with app.net. And it's basically an equivalent to Twitter. It's very similar to Twitter in that it's a social network. I'll show you some of the features in there. But if you're not a member, or if you just go across to the main page, you'll see this. And this is the global feed. So these are just messages that are being posted by all the different members within app.net. So what we'll do, though, is we'll actually log in now. I'll presume that you've signed up using either a paid membership or one of the invite codes at the end of the tutorial. So I'll just go ahead and log in as a free tier member. I'll say remember me and tap login. So this is the main page to Alpha. Now, what I don't want to do is to go into too much detail about using the Alpha interface. To be honest, if you're on a Mac, you'll use a Mac client, or if you're on an iOS device, you've got plenty of iOS applications. Also clients for Windows, for Linux. It's very much cross-platform. So I tend not to spend a lot of time in the web interface, but I'll show you some of the basic features while we're here. So this is your stream. So I'm logged on as SEO Demo. So these are all the messages of all the people that I'm subscribed to. So again, similar to Twitter, you can follow people, you can unfollow people, you can make a post. One big difference between this and Twitter is that you're allowed up to 256 characters rather than 128. And you'd be surprised just how sort of liberating it is. You're not having to cram all your posts into 128 characters. You've got this expansive 256 characters. So let me just create a post quickly. So that's my post. I've got another 85 characters left that I could add to it if I wanted to. And I can also add a photo here as well. So if I tap on here, we will add a photo. Let's add this PNG file. So this is just a screen grab of the Screencast Online Video Tutorial Magazine, available on Newsstand. Quick plug there. We'll say choose, and that will actually upload that PNG file to my file storage system on app.net. And I can actually retrieve that later. We'll actually go in and retrieve that as a separate file later on. But that's going to post it with my post. So I'm just going to go ahead and say post. And there we go down at the bottom. Let me just scroll down. So there's the post. There's the link to the image. So if I tap on the link. Okay, so there's the link to the image in app.net. Let's close that down. I can also do things such as, well, I can star it. So I can make posts favorite. When it was posted, I can reply to this if I want to. I can see which client actually sent the post. So I've used the Alpha service, so it's gone off via Alpha. And because this is my post, I can delete it from here as well. If I just scroll down, let's see what else we've got. Here's one from Lex. That was done 18 hours ago. I can see the conversation. So if I tap on this little button here, I can actually see the conversation going on between the various people. This is originally one from Rene Ritchie. He'd posted an image of Grand Central Station being ready to open. And I think not just myself, but other people have commented on this guy taking a photo of his coffee cup with this rather large lens. But we'll not worry about that. Let's just go back a level. And back to my stream. We find that original posting. So I can reply from here as well. Now, Lex has used NetBot for Mac to actually post this. We can mute the user at this point. I can report him if I think the post is inappropriate. I can also repost, so sort of like a retweet. I can post that to my followers, and again, I can star it if I want. Okay, so that's the basic stream. Now, I've left that a minute or two, and I see that I've actually got a message in, so we'll look at that shortly. But before we look at messages, we've got mentions. Okay, so mentions are when someone refers to your username in a post. So for instance here, here's one that I did. I just mentioned SEO Demo. I'm actually logged in as SEO Demo. So I put at SEO Demo, just included that in the post, and it's appeared under my mentions. There's one from iChris, one from Alvin Pettit, and some more as well. Okay, so that's mentions. So you can easily find your mentions, and you can post from here as well if you need to. Interactions. Now, I posted a short while ago that I was going to be using this account for the screencast, and so consequently, I've had lots of people started following me. That was a short while ago. The last one was 3 minutes ago. Looks like Wally has followed me. Also, I've had a reply to a post, and some individual people following me as well. So they're the interactions. Stars. So this is where you can filter out those messages that you've starred. This is one I starred before. You see I have the little star here, so you can quickly and easily sort of find your favorite posts and access them under the stars section. And here I have a private message. So this is one from iChris. I can tap on there. Okay, looking forward to your screencast. I think it's a great alternative to Twitter for tech/nerd discussions. I'll just reply. And again, you have up to 256 characters, and you can upload a file in your direct message response. So we'll say send. Let's go back to Alpha. Next section is to find people. Now you can, if you tap on here, it will actually give you some sample users that you can follow, just as easily as tapping on any of these buttons. So if I wanted to follow Brent Simmons and Jason Snell, I can tap those two. You're allowed to follow up to 40 people on the free tier account. There's Brett as well. I'll follow Brett. Okay, you can also search for hashtags. You can also search for users directly. Down at the bottom, there are some community-built tools. So if you do want to find your friends that are currently on Twitter, those people who have already come across to app.net, you can use any of these community-built tools to find your Twitter followers and friends and actually add them in, follow them directly on app.net. But let's go back up to the top, back to Alpha. This next section really is to just allow you to explore various posts, conversations, photos, trending topics, and the global feed as well. But you can dip into those and have a look to see what's happening. But the next thing I wanted to show you is the app.net directory. Now this is a directory of all the different applications that have been designed and released for app.net. And there are lots and lots of them. So you can see here it's split into mobile apps, desktop apps, and web apps. Now, I'm going to cover the mobile apps, or at least some of the mobile apps, for iPhone and iPad on the iOS show. So go ahead and check out the iOS show to have a look at those particular apps. I'm going to focus really on the desktop apps. Before I do that, though, if I just quickly go to mobile. So as you can see, I've selected iPhone, but there's iPad, Android, Windows Phone, and Symbian. These are currently sorted by popular. You can sort by newest and oldest. And it's really impressive the number of different applications available for app.net in such a short time, and really good quality applications as well. Now, if you're familiar with Tweetbot on your iPhone, the same people have done NetBot for iPhone, so you can use a similar client to access your posts in app.net. But these other ones as well are well worth checking out. Riposte, Felix, River. These are beautiful iOS applications that allow you to access your posts and direct messages, etc. These are configured with lots of touch gestures. Patter for iOS. Now, Patter is a group chat application for the web. And the iOS application allows you to participate in multi-person chat rooms and create your own chat rooms as well, whether they be public or private, or just access your private messages. These other ones I'm not familiar with. Happy. Oh, here we go. It's another app.net client. Rhino is another client. This is interesting. This is Climber. This is the equivalent really of Vine on Twitter in that you can record video. And again, it's double the amount of video that you can use on Vine. But you can basically record a video using Climber on your iPhone, and it will be uploaded to the app.net file store. So you can access the videos that you take on app.net file store. And then we have lots of other applications down here as well. Pan is another one that's worth pointing out. This is a great client for multimedia access. So if you're doing photos, videos, and audio, you can use Pan to post that directly to app.net. But it's a shame, really. I haven't got time to go through all these different applications, but lots of them are free. Some of them are paid for. App.net, the people behind App.net do a developer program whereby they reward those developers that have the most popular applications. You can check that out on the website. But that's just a quick reference to the mobile apps. What I really want to show you is the desktop apps, or at least show you some of them at least. Again, we've got too many to cover in this screencast. As you can see, lots and lots of different applications. These are all for the Mac, sorted by popularity at the moment. We have such things as Kiwi, which is a fully featured app.net client for all your messaging needs. That's actually developed by Yourhead Software. It's the one I use at the moment, actually. It's a paid-for application. I think it costs about $10. I'll give you a quick preview of that one. Wedge, which is a free client that you can download and access app.net on your Mac. Amy is a relatively new project which allows you to integrate your app.net messaging with your Messages application on your Mac. Very interesting how they've done that. We'll take a look at that. We've got some file access applications, so Orbit. If you want to access your app.net file storage, you can load up Orbit. Free application, goes in your menu bar. You can drag and drop files onto the Orbit menu bar to upload them to app.net. Another client, Appetizer, more traditional sort of file manager type application. Filebase allows you to access your app.net storage. And then down at the bottom, some further clients, App Archive, MoApp. There's some Alfred 2 workflows here, so you can post directly to app.net from Alfred. But lots and lots to try out. Too many, as I say, in this screencast, some command line tools as well. So what I thought I would show you is probably a quick look at Kiwi. Now, for any of these applications, if you tap in, it gives you more information about the application. One of the nice things with Kiwi is that it does allow you to cross-post to Twitter if you actually want to do that. Slightly controversial subject, but sometimes it is useful to cross-post across to Twitter. You can't, because of limitations in Twitter, post from Twitter into app.net. But if you've got a large group of people that you follow on Twitter and you want to cross-post, you can do it. And you can do it selectively as well, which I would always recommend. Don't just cross-post everything. You can go across to the website here, or you can download the app from here. If I just nip across to the website, you can download a free trial. It does require OS X Mountain Lion and an app.net account. Now, I've already installed a full version of Kiwi, so I'm just going to run it from here. Need to sign into my ADN account. Again, just use the standard ADN username and password, and we'll sign in. Right, and that takes me to my stream. Now, I've been busy this morning taking some photographs and recording some audio and some videos using various app.net clients on my iPod Touch. I wanted to demonstrate some of the file features later on in this screencast. So these are all new posts that I've made with some attachments to them. You can see I can see some audio, I can see some images. There's another image of a daffodil. Tap on there. Comes up the file from my app.net account. I can open with Safari, or I can share this image as well if I want to. That's all done from within Kiwi. Let me just resize this window a bit. One thing I've noticed, I haven't actually set up. I haven't set up my icon. If you post something, your icon will appear at the side. Now, because these are posts that I've done, these should be my icons here, but I haven't set up an icon. You do need to go back to the web service to set up your icon. In fact, we might as well do that now. If I go back across to Safari, and when you're logged in, if you go across to this part here, logged in as SEO Demo, tap on your username. There's a profile. There's also access to your settings here as well. Let's have a quick look at settings. So if you want to go in, I see my display name. It's got a capital E, which I don't really want. So let's change that to just lowercase e. Right, that's fine. So I can change my username once for the life of this account. Change my email, images. So I can upload a profile image. Let's upload. I think I've got one on a shared folder here. Yep, there we go. There's an icon for my head. We'll choose that one. That's now uploading. We can crop it if we want, but that's fine. And then we also have a cover image. This appears behind your icon on your sort of home page, your profile page. So we'll say upload. And I've got a banner here. It needs to be 960 pixels wide. We'll say choose. So there's our image. We'll just leave that as is. We'll say crop. And that's done. You can also change your bio and go in and change your personal details as well. If I now go across to my profile, okay, you can see there's my new image, my username, my amended display name, and the image I uploaded as a banner. Okay, so let's come out of here. Pop that down. Let's quit Kiwi and go back in. Okay, and there's my new image. If I now go across to my user homepage on here, you'll see that that other image displays at the top there as well. But let's have a quick look at the functions within Kiwi. So across the top, we've got access to our various streams. So this one is my stream. So these are all the posts from people that I'm following. We have my mentions. So everyone who's mentioned SEO Demo will appear in here. I have my starred posts, also access to the global stream as well, and access to my private messages. And I can see Chris has responded since the last update. I can pop that open and read the actual message thread. So back out. You can also use command keys. So command 1 takes me back to my stream, command 2 mentions, command 3, etc. Now, if you want to get to your user settings, you can go into here. So this is my user homepage. I can see how many posts, how many stars, how many people I'm following, and how many followers. I can also have a look at my mentions from here as well. look at my stars. This is useful. So I can see all the people I'm following from here. I can unfollow them or mute them if I need to. I can also see the people who are following me. And if I want to follow any of these, I can just click follow. And I'm now following them. Back using here takes me to my messages. Now there are some settings I want to show you before I show you how to create a post. Go up to preferences. There's a thing called the unified timeline, and that combines my stream with my mentions so I see more information. I tend to have that switched on. Scrolling sticks to the top. When at top, again, I'll switch that on. And then also show cross-posting controls. So this is if you want to cross-post to Twitter. And then if I click on select account, I have an SEO demo account on Twitter already set up. And that's set up within my Twitter settings in the mail contacts and calendar settings. If I want to double check that's the correct one, tap on here, opens up Twitter and takes me to that demo account, which is fine. So now if I close this down and create a new post by tapping on this icon, you'll notice I have two counts. So I have 199 characters left on app.net, but I've only got 83 characters left on Twitter. And if I actually go past that, so you'll see I've actually gone past the limit for Twitter, so this actually won't cross-post. So I have to bring that back to there, and that will now successfully cross-post. So if I just post that, I go back to, just a quick way to get there, back to preferences, tap on here. Okay, so there's the post from ADN. That's now appeared in Twitter. So I would say that you use the cross-posting sparingly. It does have its place. A lot of people on ADN don't actually want to cross-post to Twitter, which is fine, but it's nice to know that feature exists if you do need it. So that's just a very, very quick run-through of some of the features of Kiwi. There are tons more features in there that you need to explore. Let's go back across to the directory over at app.net and take a look at some of the other applications available. Okay, so back on the directory, so Kiwi we've had a look at. Check out Wedge. Wedge is a free Mac app that you can have a look at. We'll come back to Amy. Let's have a look at these file management applications. So we've got Orbit and also Filebase. Now, I've already downloaded and installed Filebase. If I just tap in, it's a free app. You can just download it, run it, and log in using your app.net credentials. So if I pop that down, I'll run Spotlight and access Filebase. Hit return. Okay, first time you run it, you need to connect to app.net. So again, use my app.net account. And again, we're still using the free tier account. I'm going to say authorize. And that allows us up to 500 megabytes of shared storage. Don't forget, if you're a paid user, you'll actually get 10 gigabytes of shared storage. So Filebase is now connected to app.net, and you probably will recognize some of the images that you saw in some of the posting. The neat thing is that all the applications that you use that are linked with app.net use the same file storage area. So let me make this window a bit bigger and reposition it. Right, so this is an icon view, so we can sort of highlight the individual images. You can do a quick look from here as well, so you can actually see the image in a quick look window. Now, as well as the icon view, there is a list view. So I see the name, the date it was created, the size, the type. Now, type is interesting. You can see here from the type all the different applications that I've used to create this content. So I've used Riposte app. That's a photo I took using Riposte on iOS. This is using the Tapbots Netbot application. This is using Climber. Climber is a video taking application. You'll see we have a thumbnail here, a JPEG thumbnail, and an MP4 file. So that's Climber. And then these two attachments are ones that I uploaded using the Alpha service, the Alpha website. So it doesn't use folders, and you can't rearrange your contents into folders, but you can organize or search using the type. And up here, you can search things either by name or you can search by type as well. So if I wanted to find all my Netbot images, I could just type Netbot. Okay, and they're the two images that I uploaded from Netbot. You'll notice as well, these have public links. If I highlight an image, right click and say get file info. So I've got more information about the file. There is a public link. I can copy the link using this button. If I go across to Safari, let's do a new window. If I paste and hit return, that will actually show me that image in Safari. So there's a public link that you can actually share with people if you want, and you can retrieve that from the Filebase get info. Okay, let's See all our files again. Let's put it back to icon view. If I want to download any of these to my desktop, let's say I wanted this video file that I've uploaded using Climber, I can just click this button here. Where do I want to save it? Let's save it to the desktop, say download. Okay, so now that I've got a copy in my app.net file storage, I also have a copy here on my desktop. I can run that locally off my desktop. And that's just a short MP4 video that I took with my iPod Touch. As you can appreciate, you own your data, so any data that you upload using any application using app.net is uploaded to your shared file storage, and you can get access to it and manipulate it from here as well. Just some other icons to finish off Filebase. So we have the Quick Look icon. We also have the ability to download or download to our downloads folder, Quick Look, and get info from here. We can also delete file as well, and here we can share directly with app.net email message, the usual suspects. You can also organize your files as well, and we've seen the list view and a quick refresh button to download the latest file info. Now there are some preferences. If you go across to Filebase preferences, there's some hotkeys so that you can actually share contents on app.net from your clipboard and also upload your clipboard contents as well. Not really played with any of those, so you might want to check that out. But let's close Filebase and let's go back across. In fact, let me delete this off my desktop. Let's go back across to Alpha. Let's go back a level. And we'll have a look at this, Orbit. This is a similar thing to Filebase. Again, it's a free application. This time it sits in your menu bar icon. Again, I've already downloaded and installed this. So if I run Orbit, put in our app.net credentials, and we'll hit return. Okay, so I can drop files on Orbit's menu bar icon to upload them. I can also drag files out of Orbit to download, and we want it to launch at login. Okay, so there are all my files. If I want to grab this image, I can just drag it off, place it on my desktop. Similarly, with one of these MP4 files, again, I can just drag it off. If I want to upload something to my app.net file storage, all I need to do, if I go across to Finder, let's drag one of these JPEG files, drag it up to the menu bar, let go. And we now have that file uploaded. I also have a public link copied to the clipboard. So if I now go back into Safari, hit return, let's do a new tab, Command V to paste, hit return. We should see the contents of that file within Safari. So you can use this to share files with people. So you can just upload them via Orbit into app.net, creates a public link that you can then email to someone or send to someone in a post or a tweet. It's just a nice way of managing your files. And that's all included, as I say, 500 megabytes of file storage in the free account, 10 gigabytes of file storage in the standard member account. Okay, let me pop that down. Move Safari out of the way. It's just some other features. You can just hit spacebar. If you select an image, hit spacebar, it will quick look. You can also right-click, open the link, download the file, copy the link, or delete the link. You can also make the file private as well if you want. And you can also configure it to automatically upload screenshots as well. There we go, automatically upload screenshots. So any screenshot that I take should be uploaded automatically. Let me try that. If I do Command-Shift-4, just use the crosshairs to select an area of the screen. You can see the screenshots now on my desktop, and Orbit automatically uploads it to app.net file storage. And I can see it from here. So if I select that one, hit spacebar, there's my screenshot in files.app.net. So back across over on the directory, and we'll have a look at one more Mac application. In fact, we'll take a look at Amy. Amy is a very clever service that allows you to integrate app.net messaging into the Messages application. So as you can see here, integrates private messages, group chats, Pata rooms, which are sort of like the chat rooms, into Messages for Mac. You can send and receive messages, send files directly using your app.net account's file storage, download file sent, and view inline images and animated GIFs without leaving messages. Now, it does require OS 10 10.8 Mountain Lion. Now, to get this, we go to the Download App button, takes us across to a thread over on Project Amy, and there's the latest beta. This might have changed by the time you watch this particular screencast, but that's downloading it now. I go across to Safari, let's run the package. We'll say continue, install. Right, I've actually got messages loaded. Let's go across the messages. So I'm currently just exchanging standard iMessages with, with my other account over on my other Mac. But let's close that down. Close messages down. Quit messages. Okay, so this is my admin account on the Mac. We'll install the software. Software was installed. We'll say close. Pop that down. Let's load messages again. What I need to do now is to go in and configure my app.net account. So to do that, I go to Preferences. And under Preferences, I hit the plus button. Account type is app.net. So that service has been added by Amy. Put in my app.net username and password. We'll say done. Okay, so the account is enabled. And lo and behold, there's a private message that I sent on app.net. And there is the conversation I'm having with iChris. Let's see if I can post a reply. Hi Chris, you're all over this screencast. Hit return. And that sent him a message. So I haven't had to go into the Alpha service using the web account. I haven't had to go into a Mac client. I can actually start talking with my friends over at app.net using the Messages application. And that's integrated by installing Amy. Now, if I want to send a post, to address this, I hit the plus button. So I've got my groups within contacts. I've got my standard contacts. I've also got my buddies. And lo and behold, here under app.net are all the people that I'm following. So I can find one. Let's say I wanted to send one to, let's send one to Don McAllister. Just sending you an app.net private message via the OS X Messages app. Hit return, and that's gone. So hopefully by now you're starting to appreciate that it's not just a pure Twitter clone. There's a lot more behind app.net and a lot more potential behind app.net. Just to finish off this week's show, just two web services. So if we go across to this one here, this is Patter. So I've mentioned Patter before. These are the chat rooms. I'll just tap authorize Patter to begin. We'll say authorize. I'm currently logged in as SEO demo. So this is now a fully functional sort of chat room service. I can see my private messages. So my messages between iChris I can see. Now, the chat rooms are organized into different categories, so general, fun, lifestyle. Let's take a look at the professional chat rooms. Now, there's one here about iOS development. I can just tap on there and actually go into the chat room and start reading the chat that's going on in there. And I can also contribute to it as well. But let's just come back out. We'll just tap on the Patter icon to go back to the front page. Let's go back into the professional category. If I want to keep abreast of what's happening in that chat room and be notified when there are new posts, I just go ahead and click on subscribe. And by doing that, you'll notice the messages icons popped up down at the bottom. I'm now subscribed to that chat room, and any posts that are posted now will appear in my messages application because I've integrated messages with app.net using Amy. Let's go across to messages. And I can now see that Patter room in messages, and I can respond to that as well. Okay, so that's Patter. If you check out the iOS show, we'll have a look at some of the iOS clients for Patter over on the iOS show. Another one I just wanted to quickly show you is this one. Let's see, BlimSketch. This again is by Cosso. Another web service I can connect with app.net. I'll authorize. I'm still logged in as SEO demo. I've got black ink. I can select my pen size, have some graph paper, and I can actually just write on this. The sketch. And I can save, give it a title, click to save it. Now that's saving the sketch and the title as an app.net post, and that will be accessible both on the web and also in an app.net client. If I pop that down, let's go into KiwiSay, which again is an app.net related app. Now I'm seeing my messages here that I sent across using iMessage. If I go to my stream, so there's the post I've just created with the attached sketch that I did with the web service. And that's now been posted as a standard ADN link, app.net link. And anybody who follows me on app.net, no matter what client they're using, or whether or not they're following it on the web through Alpha, they will see this post and can get access to the attachment as well. Now that particular service has been put together by Cosso. And there's another post here, which is Cosso also has an application, an iOS application called Pan, or HashPan actually it's called. If I go to here, this is one I did before. This is just some audio I recorded using the iOS app. Just testing some audio using Kozo's Hashpan. If I go across to Blims, so this is a web page that Kozo has put together showing the latest photos, video, audio, and links shared using Blims apps to app.net. So we have both the sketch that I showed you before, and also down here we have the audio, the post of the audio, and these will both appear in app.net clients as well. So as you can see, some very rich functionality being put together using the app.net service. But anyway, that's it for this week. But I should just finish off by reminding you that this has been a completely independent production and hasn't been sponsored or endorsed by the developers of app.net. But if this is the first Screencasts Online video that you've seen, I do a weekly iOS and Mac video that you can check out over at screencastsonline.com. It is a membership service, so you can go across and find out information about how to become a Screencasts Online member to get the weekly video tutorials. There is also a magazine across on the newsstand, a Screencasts Online monthly magazine. You can subscribe to that separately from the membership, or if you become a member, you get a free subscription to the magazine as well. So go across to screencastsonline.com to check out my Mac and iOS video tutorials every week. But that's it for this week. I'll speak to you next time.